Personal question, you have to answer.
Yeah.
But do you have a prenup with your wife?
Do not.
So this man advocates for prenups.
Okay.
And I have a problem with that.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
Teach me about it. Let's fight.
So the word prenup is so weird in our culture, right? The prenuptial agreement, which really is a marriage contract. I think that couples need to be sitting down and discussing the realities of marriage, not only the bad parts of like splitting up, but also how will we resolve conflicts? What are the 15 steps before we get divorced? What are all the agreements we're going to lay out for that? How will we treat each other? What will be the division of labor, perhaps, or what are we looking at? Some parts can be legal, some parts can be more emotional, right? You have a lawyer check it all over, so it vines, but building a contract together of what marriage is going to look like on both sides, I think, is absolutely crucial.
I like the idea of what you're saying about the intentionality part. I don't think many couples, and actually I think it's kind of probably good that they don't count the cost, right? I think there's something to be said for till death do us part. Let's go make this happen. And then 3 years in, you're like, oh, we made a big commitment, right? This is going to be harder than we thought. I think there's something important about that. What I don't like is, or my challenge would be, it's the or else. And I think if I give myself an or else, I consider it as I have a pathological addiction to candy. Bad news. If I keep one emergency bag, I will eat that bag. Period. And I've talked to the experts of the experts about habits and this and self-control. At this point in my life, I need to not have that. And so I know there's been steps along the way. There's been multiple times when my wife, several that I can count, we've sat across the table and have said, the marriage as we have known it is over. Are we going to continue here? And I don't believe in the sentence, it just ran out of steam or it just ran its course. One or both of us quit, right? And we know we can't continue to be married as we were. Are you still in? And if there was an off-ramp, I can't say with certainty that I wouldn't have taken the off-ramp. And so knowing, the disaster that will be what comes next, let's try to figure this out. And that doesn't sound sexy, and that doesn't sound Hollywood, and that doesn't sound overly romantic. But it was just the fact that we had built walls, and it was going to be a pain to get over those walls.
So we are scared of the dark. We're scared of the unknown more than we are scared of the known. Right? That is the thing that literally is the terror in our lives. And I would rather have that terror work for me than against me. Right? I would rather say that I would not want to even think about the terror that's going to come from a divorce. Right? I haven't already gone through one. I can tell you, like, that actually is a huge hesitation to me to even have a prenup. I don't want to have to even talk about the next stage if, we have to do this again. I would rather leave it undisclosed. Yes, I understand the financial risk. Yes, I understand all the thing that comes. No, I do not think that a prenup is really going to protect you fully in court. I'm no lawyer. However, I've never seen one work 100%. They always get disassembled. But the harm in going in and telling to your wife that I'm already thinking of a way out and that I already planned it out and I have a plan and this is what's going to happen, that to me is weird. I don't want that power.
Weird is one thing, but I think the courage to have those conversations and explore what the other person does during that conversation is very instructive. And I'm not advocating for building an easy way out. I think it should be atrocious. I think that the way out through that prenuptial,
You will be flogged.
I think it should be catastrophically bad so that you can see it and go, well,
let's don't do that.
You're sitting across the table for each other. Are you in or out? And then you look at the contract and you're like, oh no, I better be in. Like I'm going to lose 4 fingers and all these things. But I think that there's two pieces. Unfortunately, our society, we have no fault divorce, which I think is
catastrophic.
Catastrophic. Yeah. And number two is if you don't build this marriage contract, then the state already has a marriage contract for you. Right. You already have a divorce contract. You already have a divorce agreement. You're just going to have to be really nasty in court about it.
That's why I always advocate. People are like, let's just don't get married. We'll just move in together long term. We'll just do that. Is at least when you make your marriage official with the state, there is a built-in. It becomes a business transaction if you do split. If you don't, it's a mess. The only time I would advocate for a prenup is if someone is getting remarried or someone is coming from a massive
disparity.
and economically, right? And only because not for you two, but for the cousins and the kids that will come out of the woods, right? And so we're going to insulate.
It's a protective
us,
thing.
right.
That is a protective thing because,
But that's a rare moment.
Yeah, especially in that circumstance, people can be influenced, and they can be influenced by very bad actors. And sometimes it is truly, I agree, a protective measure.
A strange cousin can trip at your house, and suddenly, right? So but that's about the money part. But I'll have to ponder that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to be clear, I think the prenup, number one, because women always get on me for saying I'm for prenups, it needs to protect both sides in the event of, X, Y, or Z. But it also needs to be so clearly horrifying. If either one of you initiates divorce proceedings, it's worse than the state would do. Right? And I think that it's an interesting way.
That's an interesting thought for sure.
Right. And actually, I advocate for it specifically because of no-fault divorce, because I think it's so easy to initiate no-fault divorce now that I think a prenup should stop people from initiating divorce more than anything. It's not for when you get divorced. It's to stop it. If you like this clip, I know you're going to enjoy the full episode. You can watch it right here.